Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the support memories and basically which support memories I think are best for just general situations, and basically which support memories I think you should consider using and when and how. But yeah, support memories are obviously pretty useful. If you're someone who's not super interested in the item runs, you can find using support memories is a really cool and pivotal way to increase your team's performance overall. From any kind of content ranging from Red Zone to Omega Shenron to even older events like SBR and ESBR, the support memories are very powerful and very useful. Now, not all support memories are equal, and I'm going to try and highlight my favorites while discussing a couple of them or just select kind of designs of support memories. Now, full disclaimer, you should be using Bully GT and Oolong pretty much for all of your currency farming, unit farming, etc. There's no reason not to use them to farm items from events. Now, my best or my favorite support memories are the Bomber support memory. And the Bomber support memory is really strong. It's a super strong heal. It's a 2-turn buff. It's quite easy to activate. Pure Sands, Earthlings are not necessarily the least common categories. They're pretty easy to build around. So it's a really powerful and really good support memory that I think a lot of players are going to see a lot of value out of. I myself personally use this as my go-to support memory for any kind of super hard event, as it's really strong. The heal's really good, and if I'm lacking healing or utility, then this support memory comes in really clutch and does a great job overall. Alongside that, or kind of very similar to that one, is what I would consider the tie first or second, maybe a little bit worse than Bomber but a little bit less situational, the Android 17 and 18. So this support memory is really strong. Again, a nice heal, 36%, but it's also just a very good support memory. The buff to your allies is also very good. The difference between this and Bomber is that Bomber is a bit more conditional in terms of activation effects and also has to activate at the 4th turn, whereas this one doesn't have to do that. This one can activate a little bit easier. This one has a bit of an easier activation process, and so I think it gains some value there in terms of its overall ability. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about, well, before we kind of get there, we're going to talk a little bit about one more heal. So we have one more kind of major heal. This is a super cheap one, the Icarus and Gohan. It's a nice heal to use, and it's actually quite helpful, especially if you're looking for something cheap and very simple to activate. This is kind of one of those ones, which I think is very good. It's cheap, but it is effective, and I have used it in quite a few bits of content. Now, the next subsection of support memories is the boost support memories. So these are the ones that are just flat boosts to like a category, be it Vegeta's Family or Movie Heroes or Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Time Travelers or Worldwide Chaos. All of these basically give the biggest component being a flat boost, 10%, 15%, maybe sometimes they give key, but generally speaking they're pretty straightforward, and the players gain a lot of value out of the just generic stat boost. These are far more effective if you're going for an item run and you have high stats on your team and you're looking for a boost, more so than anything else. It basically allows you to take the edge off of the sting of certain attacks, which is all very good. Next, we have some of the more conditional sort of support memories. So these are support memories that are technically quite good, but do lack a little bit of something to make them really work. So for example, they require a certain requirement. They can only be active for 1 or 2 turns from the start of turn. They're usually cheaper than the flat boosts, and they usually do accommodate various team builds, but for the most part they're kind of like temporary boosts when you need it. For example, if you're at the 3rd turn of an event, to get an extra 10% is quite nice, especially if you're facing AoEs. They'll generally kick in to kind of assist players the most. They are very conditional, so I wouldn't necessarily classify them as being overtly useful, because you might play it and never ever use it. But generally speaking, at least there is some kind of basis upon which you can obviously build these skills off of. Next, obviously we're going to talk about my personal favorite, and that is the Goku Bojack, because it's so simple. It activates at the 5th turn, lasts for 2 turns. It gets a bonus depending on who's on your team, but generally speaking, it's just a very powerful, very helpful 5-turn little booster. Generally, that's the end or the start of the end phase for a lot of units. So yeah. Then of course we get a couple different ones. These ones, yeah, like Pepe Gal boosts or Planet Namek Dragon Ball boosts or things like that, just aren't necessarily in the same functionality as some of these other ones. So these are either lesser buffs to categories or lesser permanent buffs to categories, just lower buffs in general. 20% attack for 2 turns rather than 15% flat out. Like, they're just generally speaking okay support memories that people are honestly waiting for them to get their boost to see if they are usable. For me, the number one identifying factor for a usable support memory is healing, especially if I'm running a Pure Saiyans team of some kind that has no healing. I like to bring along a healing support memory, as it really helps to boost me out. But yeah, that's honestly it. There's not too much more to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what support memories you think are the best. I think it's super important to discuss this and kind of share. I personally think the key ones are the least usable, but in general I think a lot of them find their niche. But that's going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.